Welcome to Being Friends with Jess and Toni-ann, an inside look at our friendship, millennial things, sports, and pop culture. Come laugh with us, or maybe at us, and let's be friends.
I didn't click it the first time.
I was going to say, this is like a really long pause. Thank God we didn't start talking like we usually do, but hello, friends.
Hi, clearly we're a little rusty.
I know, but well, we were just saying that like we feel like we haven't recorded in so long because we haven't recorded in over a week, but also we don't talk to each other on the phone anymore because we were using our good content before we started recording podcasts. So this is our like weekly phone call, and
Basically,
yeah, it was like rough. I feel like I had so much that I wanted to say to you, but I couldn't because I knew if I called you, then we were just gonna go down a rabbit hole.
I know. I feel like that's the one. It's like great that like we have a scheduled weekly, like we know we'll talk once a week at least, but then like we usually do talk more than once a week, so we're kind of like limiting our friendship down.
We can only text each other because we can't be funny over text.
No, like any joke I make to you on a text message, I'm like, damn, that would have been really good content. That's not the way friendship should work.
But we've also been saying this about our friendship for years. We were like, wow, that's great content, but it was never actual content. Right. And now that it is, it's hindering our friendship, but in a good way. It was
just the content of our lives before, and now it's for other people to hopefully enjoy.
To entertain. Okay, I'm going with what's in my china first.
Okay.
Because my ice cube is really cute, but it's like face down and gonna melt. I don't know who the actual who the actual F I think I am today, but I am drinking peanut butter whiskey on
I thought that was an old fashioned for a minute.
On a bulldog rocks, but he's melting, so he looks a little deformed. It's a bulldog. It literally is a bulldog ice cube.
Oh my goodness. Where'd you get that?
For my bridal shower, and ask me when I used it for the first time, because it was 2 weeks ago.
Wait, but like, what does the bulldog signify that was on your registry?
I don't know. I just thought they were cute, and they had like roses, like they're just ice molds.
Oh.
Hold on. Like it's like an ice mold. You fill it up, and it's a dog, so it's like for like whatever. And I was like, oh, the bulldog's cute. Like we like dogs.
Okay.
Alec likes dogs, and like he drinks whiskey more than I do. Wow, that's actually really fucking good.
It's just straight up peanut butter whiskey.
Yeah. Again, who am I?
Whoa! Wait a minute. Jess is drinking straight whiskey? Who are you?
Well, I've taken shots of this before, but okay, so I was gonna make like the martini that I had on Valentine's Day at dinner, but it didn't have pineapple juice, so I couldn't do that. So that'll be next week. But then I was like, should I have an amaretto sour? But I don't have sour mix. I just have like lime juice, and I was like, I'm gonna ruin it. I'm not gonna like it.
Right.
So then I went to I guess this could be my ridiculous thing, because nothing ridiculous has happened to me this week, but
lucky you.
Yeah. So nothing, I really can't think of anything ridiculous that happened other than one thing, which I'll tell you later, but it's not for the podcast. Anyway,
okay.
So I just went in my fridge because I was going to drink the Mai Tais that I bought when I went away and I died. We all remember that story, right?
Right, of course.
So I look at the box and it says 24 Sep 23. And I'm like, what? Yeah, is that an expiration date? So then I open it and I look at the bottom of the can and it says it again. So now I'm trying to figure out if this is a packaged date or an expiration date, because I bought those in December, and that can explain why I actually died.
Interesting.
Because I literally was so sick. Maybe the juice was like bad in it. Not the alcohol,
Maybe.
Like I understand, but like I literally was so sick so far into the next day that now I believe that I was poisoned by the alcohol.
Put it in.
Yeah, so I have to figure that out. So I added expired alcohol to like the thing, because who knew? Like, I don't know. Again, expiration dates, like, they're like suggestions, but clearly maybe this is the reason that I died.
Well, that would explain a lot, and
it would, but I just think it's ridiculous that it was 3 months old when you sold it to me. 3 months old.
That's a faux pas. It's a faux pas.
Yeah, and I go to this liquor store all the time, so I'm about to be like, listen, I don't want you to refund me. I don't want you to do anything. I just want you to, like, I want you to know that I bought this in December, and I will not purchase these here anymore, but I will purchase everything else.
Well, I mean, I forgot if we talked about this on a podcast a week or two ago, but I am always known for stretching expiration dates a little bit. And
Yeah, we did talk about that, so
yeah.
that's why I was like, oh, Toni-ann's
So
gonna
I
like
would have
this.
looked at that and been like, no problem.
Right, and I feel like I really don't have anything anything else that's ridiculous. I do have a pet peeve to talk about, though, that bothered me today, but we'll get into that later.
Okay.
What's
Did you
in
get
your
a haircut,
trainer?
by the way?
I did.
It looks really good.
Yeah, I did. Look, I didn't even tell you that I got my hair cut because I wanted to
Yeah.
surprise you.
It's so cute.
Thanks.
I canceled
We're
my
getting used to
haircut.
it. Getting used to it still.
As long as my hair has been a long time, I just canceled it because I want to let it grow out a little more.
Yeah.
And hopefully right before Laura's wedding, I could do like a nice like updo that's like long still.
And then
We'll
cut
see.
it. That makes sense.
Yeah. I'm going to get it like trimmed right before and colored again, but like I want to try to grow it out as much as I can. And it's still pretty healthy, you know.
No, it looks good.
Anyway, my china is the same as people have seen, nothing new. I am gonna get more creative. I need to get through this box of wine. I'm still drinking the same box because it's just me
Maybe
here.
boxed wine isn't good for the solo gal.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it is in the fact that it will last forever, but when you have a podcast and you're trying to switch it up, maybe not.
You know what you can get? I bought Ariana when she got engaged. They sell smaller bottles of the boxed wine.
Okay.
And those are like less.
Like
those
half?
are like 3 glasses instead of 3 bottles.
3 glasses is just a bottle.
Oh, yeah. No, well, yeah, I guess. All right, never mind. But maybe it stays fresher in the carton instead of the bottle. I don't know.
I think the functionality of the box is fine for me. If a wine could last me this long, more power to it. It's just that for the podcast purposes, I want something new, fresh, different, and I'm just trying to get rid of this, so I'm not doing things different. So I do. I'll next week's I'll switch it up, and I will for sure maybe make a cocktail. It's also that we record these now like kind of later than we were to start things off, so I'm like half ready for bed by the time we get off here, and so I'm like cocktail right before bed is not good for my heart.
It puts you to sleep.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it puts me to sleep. Maybe I'm just.
Well, it is a
too drunk.
depressant. It is a depressant. But like if I had an espresso martini right before bed, although caffeine's never really
I don't
affected
know.
me like
I
that.
can fall with caffeine doesn't do that to me. I can have an espresso martini right before bed. If I had 4, I'm sure that wouldn't work, but one wouldn't hurt me.
Okay, I'll get a little more creative with my cocktail next week, and I'll try to put it. I do have new glasses. Well, they're not that new, but I haven't debuted them on the pod yet. So maybe I'll make a nice one next week in the new glasses.
All right, I'm ready for it.
Yeah, but anyway, my ridiculous
thing
is that to update you all. She's already laughing because I did have to share
because
this
I didn't
with her.
think that. I thought you didn't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about it. You're so
Well,
mad.
I was in a bad mood last week. Okay, obviously, we all know I'm very accident prone, and it's getting progressively worse. Okay, so I just healed up my ankle. We heard the whole saga. Okay, like I got a cortisone shot. I'm living life. I've been skiing since. Everything's good with the ankle. Well, last week, I don't know what I thought I was doing. I was just walking into my bedroom and not paying attention how close I was to the wall, I guess. And I decided to just jam my entire right foot, more specifically the pinky toe, right into like the door, like the open door where like where the hinges are.
Ow.
And I hit it so hard that the whole wall like reverberated, and I was screaming that I can't believe a neighbor didn't check on me, of course, because I'm dramatic. I'm like Peter Griffin, like, but with like a whole lot more expletives. And this was on the way I was grabbing boots to go out to dinner, okay, for a Galentine's. So I'm like, oh, this is so much pain. I definitely just effed up my foot, but we'll deal with it later. And I shove it in a boot and I go to dinner. And I walk into dinner and I'm limping, and the girls are like, what happened? Is your ankle hurting? I'm like, no, this is not the ankle. This is the other foot, and I just did this now. And then, of course, here come the bubble jokes, which I really do need a bubble. It's getting bad. But I was in such a bad headspace last week that because I was just like, why do these things keep happening to me? Like every time I get over one thing, like something new comes up. And I was just in such a bad headspace that like everything just like when I fell through the hole in Melissa's Bachelorette, how I said like anything that will go wrong goes wrong when it comes to my life. Like this is just how I'm constantly feeling lately.
Well, it was funny too because I knew that you were so pissed. Like I knew you were so pissed. So I was like trying not to bother you to be like, how does it feel? Like,
I mean, I appreciate your concern.
So then, but then Saturday or Sunday rolled around, and one of the old like bachelorettes, she's actually married to Aaron Rodgers' brother. She was filming a ad on her Instagram story and realized she didn't have like the product, so she like turns out of her bathroom and runs, and all you hear is, oh shit, I just broke my toe. I think I just broke my toe. I did not just break my toe. So she did the exact same thing. Right. So then she comes back into the frame and she looks down. She's like, oh God, I'm bleeding. Right. So like disaster. And I had the whole thing queued up to send to you to be like, look, it doesn't only happen to you. And I deleted the whole thing because I was like, if she's over it, this is going to trigger her more. And I don't know if she's over it. So I'm just not going to send it.
But you're a good friend because I would have probably just been like, I was not laughing about it last week. Like now I can at least realize I'm probably going to live. I could like.
I know, but you like get into these headspace. You're like, it only happens to me. And I was like, but that was why I was sending it to you. But it doesn't because I told you that my coworker broke her foot that way. Also.
Okay, out of people we know that like this is only happens to me, and I can't even tell you how many people are go. We need to put you in a bubble. Like, why do you have?
I did tell you that I'm getting you a bubble for your birthday. Yes.
You're not the only one that said that. So whatever. So anyway, I didn't go get an X-ray or anything because what's the point? If it was broken, they were gonna say, "Oh yeah, shit, it's broken." So I just treated it as if it was.
The girl at work had to have surgery, but I didn't want to tell you that. That's why I was asking you what it looked like because hers looked worse. Yeah, hers was like not good. So she was in a boot. But when I told her what yours looked like, she was like, yeah, she should be fine then. We're doctors now.
Ew, you showed her my foot?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
I was telling her what you were telling me. You didn't show me your foot.
Oh yeah, I didn't show you my foot.
I don't need to see.
I hate feet, including my own feet. So like I've been taking pictures of my foot for like chronicling reasons and for like people that are like actually interested. But like,
so, like not to sell them on.
No, like I have it in my hidden folder on my camera because I don't even want them in my camera roll. Like I hate even my own feet. And when I did send them to select few people that were curious on how bad it looked, I actually like edited it and blurred out my toes so that you could only see like the actual bruised part.
You literally have a problem.
I hate it. I hate it. So anyway, the foot is still swollen AF. It still hurts like a bitch, the toe specifically. But now the bruise is moved off the pinky and it's now on top of all the rest of the toes. So maybe I didn't break it. Maybe I just really jammed like the whole foot.
I don't know. That doesn't sound good though. It kind of.
But either way, I'm a little upset. Besides the fact that I was just had it. I just had it last week. But I was upset because like these next 2 weekends I was supposed to go skiing, and now like I probably should skip this upcoming week because I still want to go at least once. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'll skip this week and go next week. But I don't know. It's just. I know that's like a first world problem, but like it's also just the winter.
No, it's annoying. Like it's annoying. Could you actually enjoy the winter where most people would be like, yeah, I can't do anything, but you enjoy it.
That's what I mean. So also this whole weekend I had to just suck it up and be social because I didn't want to just sit at home and be miserable because again, I was in like a weird headspace. So I was like, no, I need to like actually go out, like be social. So it was a lot of limping around, a lot of icing. And I mean, I may do, but
well, I'm proud of you for not secluding yourself.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
That's the most you'll ever hear Toni-ann talk about mental health.
I was telling somebody today, the woman at work was like, I made a loaf of bread. I was like, oh, you're one of them now? I said, we had a whole podcast about that one. And the guy at work that sits next to Alec goes, you have a podcast? I'm like, yeah. And so I pull the podcast up for him and he's like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. So I'm like, yeah, no problem. I was like, it's cheaper than therapy. So, you know, because he was like, where do you find the time to do it? I was like, I don't know. Like, we just do it at night. Like, and then the editing kind of just happens like at night and we post it at night and we have to do everything at night, but we get it done. Yeah. And I'm like, but it's cheaper than therapy. I was like, that probably should have been the name of the podcast, but whatever.
That actually is a good alternate name.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. But
Maybe
anyway.
that could be the title of this week's episode.
Yes, that would be a good. That would be good. Speaking of, I don't know if I have a problem because I see that you added this to the note, but three separate people yesterday sent me the photo that the Choco Taco is back. 3 separate people.
Oh, well, you don't have a problem, but you make it very well known how much you love them. So I just thought right as I added that to the note, that's when I saw it. So I just need to make sure you knew about it if you didn't already.
I do know about it, but they're only at Taco Bell, correct?
Yeah, it's good, and it's gonna be like a limited time thing, probably like for the summer or something. But
I'll be. You know where to find me, people. Taco Bell drive-thru.
she'll be in the drive-thru for sure.
I will be.
And I hope it's like the actual one because it says it's in collaboration with like an ice cream store that's not like Good Humor.
If it is not if it's not good, I will blow a gasket because don't tease me that the Choco Taco is back and then make a shitty one.
I almost feel like they like maybe should have been like something similar to the Choco Taco because if it's not the exact Klondike Choco Taco, then like it's like
you're just gonna have angry people.
Yeah. Well, mostly just Jess, but yeah, people like her.
Listen, I was pregnant. I was angry.
I know.
Let me tell you, I went to a 4-year-old's birthday party and the ice cream lady showed up and she was like, "You're the pregnant one. I have special things for you." Because my friend texted the ice cream truck lady and was like, "Please hold 2 Choco Tacos for her." Did my sugar go over what it was supposed to be? Yes, but I ate 2 of them.
I don't care. That's fine. I had another thought and then
it was delicious.
I lost
was about ice cream.
Oh, speaking of imitation. Also, when I was driving this weekend, on the billboards on the highway, Wawa has snack wraps. Did you know that?
No, I was never a snack wrap girly though because I don't like ranch.
My goodness.
The thing is that I don't like anything on it besides the chicken and the tortilla.
Yeah, you're very.
So it doesn't really make sense for me to get a snack wrap. But I did like the chicken selects, so I'm like mad that the chicken selects are gone.
I never even had those.
It's just the chicken tenders.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. Wawa apparently has snack and go wraps, which literally just look like snap wraps. And I'm like, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, McDonald's coming back with them like next year." And I'm like, "Well, what's the rush? You have all the ingredients now. What are we waiting for?" I have the option.
I don't know. I will never understand that. Right. Like I never understand why the demand is there. Oh, and speaking of things that like the demand is there or whatever, Skittles 20 years late to the party, but I keep hearing them on the radio advertise like mini Skittles in a tube that's reclosable. Okay, great. M&M's did that in 1999, you idiots.
I thought Skittles also did that back then.
Well, apparently they didn't, and now they recreated it, and they're like,
just renewing PR campaign.
I don't know what is going on, honestly, but again, at work today, somebody brought in like their kids' candy, and one of the guys like picked out something, and I was like, "Oh, did you get anything good?" And he was like, "Oh, Skittles." I was like, I'm not a Skittles girly. Anyway, I was like, "Did you know that Skittles just discovered mini Skittles?" He was like M&Ms, like 20. I'm like, yeah, like 20 years ago. 20 years ago, the M&Ms, and now they're taking the idea.
Mini Skittles have been in a bag for a very long time. Maybe they never.
Well, now they're in a resealable tube. Like nobody's ever done that before.
Can I tell a fun story real quick about?
If on Mars, I'm coming for you.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'll tell you a fun, quick story about mini M&Ms. The tubes. I probably told you this before, but the one thing that has, how like there's something happens in your childhood that's like ingrained and it's like a core memory, like not a trauma, but like something like a life lesson that you were taught. So my dear mother, who I know is an avid fan of our podcast, so she will enjoy the telling of this story. My mother was definitely 90s parenting to a T in terms of telling little white lies to your kids just to keep them in line isn't always the worst thing in the world, right?
Right.
So she was a big fan of, we'd drive past McDonald's and I'd be like, oh my God, Mom, I want McDonald's. And this was before I could read. And, it'd say like 3 million hamburgers sold on the sign. And she'd be like, no, see that only 3-year-olds could eat hamburgers today. And like, she'd keep driving and I'd be like, oh, okay, Mommy. And then, like when we were in a restaurant, her favorite thing was she used to tell us that the floor was hot, couldn't get up to the floor, and the waiters had to wear special shoes. And the only time they shut off the floor was if like somebody said they had to go to the bathroom. So like she spun like just to keep us in our seats like I said, today's parents probably would be like, oh my God, I don't lie to my kids. My mom was not that mother, right? So anyway,
it wasn't frowned upon in the 90s. That's why.
I mean, but I'm not traumatized. Like I walk on the floor today. I'm not traumatized. Okay, let's calm down. But one thing that did stick with me.
The light in the car stuck with everyone.
Yes, things like that. Exactly. So one thing that did stick with me was a life lesson it was a good life lesson. It was to deter shoplifting. Okay. So when I was like 5, 6, I don't know, my mom took me to ShopRite, and I, of course, like any kid, was like, oh, I want this. And she'd be like, yeah. And like when I'm not looking, like take it out of the cart, like most moms would do. And eventually, I guess I caught on to that because I was a smart pickle. And they used to have at the registers at ShopRite the M&M tubes, but it was in like the stand up like red M&M where like his belly was hollowed out.
Yep, I remember this.
So right before the register, I must have just taken one and my mom didn't notice, and we paid and we went home in the car. And I remember it like it was yesterday. And like I said, I probably in like 5, 6, 7, and I'm like eating it in the back seat. And she's like, what is that? And I'm like, M&Ms, like nothing's wrong. And she goes, I didn't buy those. And I actually remember telling you like you weren't allowed to have those. And I was just like, oh, well, I don't know. It was right by the registers, like whatever. So what did she do?
She went back to ShopRite and
turned the car around, went back to ShopRite, and got out and made me find the manager and apologize to the manager for stealing the M&Ms. And you would have thought that I was being dragged to a dungeon, okay? Like, I was convinced I was going to jail. I thought that was it, all because of an M&M's tube. So, of course, like, I'm sure looking back now as an adult, the manager probably thought it was so cute and, like, good for my mom for, like, instilling these manners upon me.
Kids did this do that all the time.
Right. But for my mother to actually turn the car around and make me go apologize and bring the tube back, which was half eaten at this point, I was just like, I'm sure the manager was like, just keep it. I still to this day, anytime I see an M&M's tube, I think of that moment. So
that's so funny.
Yeah. Thanks, Deb.
That's actually funny. Love that. Okay, I have a pet peeve that we need to talk about.
Sure.
Okay, so this morning I was driving to work, and you know how like guys with pickup trucks, I don't know if this is like a recent thing, maybe like the last few years, but some of them will like hang things like off of like the extender.
Woody and Buzz. I see that a lot.
Woody, Buzz, animals, anything. The one that drives me, the balls drives me insane. I'm like, how insecure do you have to be to hang balls off of your truck? And not only, and I feel like the people that like hang the balls off of their truck like don't have a good truck. Like you don't have a Ram, you don't have an F-150.
A good set of balls. Probably not. Probably not.
Okay, well, this is the point. So today I'm driving, and this guy has a Ford Ranger, which is a nice pickup truck, but you're not driving an F-150, whatever. So there's literally blue balls hanging off of it. LOL, let me laugh while I drive my car. Not anyway. So now I'm driving. I pull into our building at one entrance, but you can get into our building at 2. I see the truck. He pulls in like at the other entrance. I'm like, this guy works here? Like, are you kidding?
Oh,
so now, naturally, I have to see what he looks like because I'm like, this is going to be like I'm sorry, I'm being judgmental, but I pictured like a douchey, like, I'm so full of myself, like, kind of guy. This man gets out of his car, He did not look like he should have balls hanging from his car.
Was it
He
your
was
boss?
wearing brown loafers, like, like the brown shoes that men wear to work, like the leather
Right.
ones. He had a backpack, like, on one shoulder. And it was like a laptop backpack, like a nice one,
Yeah.
trendy, not like rugged, not like a JanSport. I'm trying to, like, I needed a briefcase, so I just used my old college backpack. No. Like, this man was put together, and I'm like, you, sir, you have the balls hanging from your car? And I couldn't get over it. And it just started, I don't know why, it just really, like, talk about things giving you the ick. It gives me the ick.
Wait, this person works in your company or just in the same
No,
building?
he just works in the
Okay.
building. And mind you, like, again, there's a law firm, there's like a lot of insurance companies,
He's
there's
probably a
doctor's
lawyer.
offices. Yeah, like, I don't know what he does, but I was definitely judging him. I was like,
I would have died if it was somebody you knew, like John from accounting or something. Like, I would have died.
if it was somebody in our office, I would have been like, why do you have those hanging from your, why are those on your
you
car?
would just ask.
Right. But anyway, so pet peeve that I needed to talk about because I was just so aggravated because I was like neck and neck with him on the in the traffic.
You were balls
I was
deep.
like, this is so stupid. Literally balls deep in traffic with the guy with the balls on it.
That's like anytime a car drives by me that's either a really loud, annoying engine that's like been modded or really big wheels. I'm like, you just have a tiny penis and you're letting the whole street know. Like, you're literally just letting everyone know that you are not well endowed at all. So great job. Great job.
Right, like, I kind of rather you hang a stuffed animal off of it, but I just don't understand, like, what is the purpose of that? It's just getting dirty outside and like it's gross and like why does it need to be there?
I at least can appreciate the Woody and Buzz because it's funny, like a callback to the movie that like they're hanging
Right,
on
it's
the
like an
back of the
ode to the movie.
car.
I've also seen Lotso on like
on the
hanging
front.
too.
Mm-hmm.
No, not even on the front, but I've seen him on the back, like hanging on the back.
Oh, I thought the end of the movie showed him like in
No,
front of
he
a
is on the
truck.
front of a truck. But
Yeah.
I don't know why people put him on the back. But either way, exactly. Like, that's more nostalgic. Like, the only thing I'm thinking, if you have balls hanging from your truck, is you are very insecure. And you're like, I'm a man.
That's what I mean.
Great.
Yeah. So whoever that is, if anybody's watching this that likes to have paraphernalia hanging from their truck, maybe take that off before we see it because we will be judging you hard and commenting on it.
Also, if you want and you're home, you could replay that whole segment, and every time we said the word balls, please take a drink.
That's a great idea. Balls, balls, balls. Okay, we're done. We're gonna have to mark this episode as explicit if we keep going. What's it called? Speaking of Woody and Buzz, did you see they're making a Toy Story 5?
There's so many Disney sequels coming out.
But
Let's take a moment.
what other story do they possibly have to tell?
That I'm not really sure about, but Frozen 3 is coming out, Moana 2. I don't know what story we have to tell about Moana, though, honestly.
It's just money makers. There's literally...
I know, but, like, Moana was perfect how it was. It doesn't need, like, another story. Frozen 2, I can understand because now, like, they could probably do something with, like, Anna and Kristoff, like, ruling the kingdom. So, like, I get that. But do we need it? Not necessarily.
Like, I guess Toy Story 5 can be about Buzz and Jessie.
No, they're Toy Story
but
is
there's
dead.
no reason. Like,
done.
how much? This is from...
Just kill it while it's good. It's
and
complete
Toy Story 4 was arguably okay. I didn't really love it.
No, it should have ended at 3, I think.
Yeah, it should have. So
I mean, I was an emotional mess during 4, but
I did like Sporky.
But not as much as 3, like, really
3
had
destroyed
me
because it was right when we graduated college. It
was a mess. I think I cried the entire way home from the movie theater. I was a mess.
Yeah. So
not normal.
Yeah, Disney is just really, they're like, oh, like they're not making enough money.
The other day I was actually ranking Disney princes. I'd like your opinion on your power rankings of, like, most attractive to least.
Oh, okay. I do love ranking the attractiveness of cartoon characters. So well, the most attractive. Oh, yeah, I would ordinarily say Prince Eric. But Flynn Rider is up there for me.
Oh, okay. I wasn't really counting them. I'm talking like OG. I forgot all about those.
Yeah.
The new ones are created different. We gotta. They're separate characters.
Okay.
Like they're making them hot on purpose,
Yeah.
so they can't like Kristoff and Flynn Rider got to be in their own category.
Kristoff's not hot. He's a
He's
big
cutie.
doof. He's a big
He is,
doof.
but he's cute.
Wow.
Okay.
So our
Anyway,
lists are
he
already
wasn't my
very
number
different.
one. Number
But
one.
he's got that Riz. I'm always about the Riz. Eugene. That's something they were gonna eventually make a second one about, and then they did it. But they did like an animated series that I guess was kind of like a sequel. But anyway, back to the rankings. Prince Eric is obviously like an OG hottie. You know, even though when you watch it growing up, you think he could have done a little bit more. But you know, if we're just going based on looks, he's up there. I'm not gonna get you started. I shouldn't have said
Do
anything.
not disrespect that man.
Who else is like good looking? I mean, like, I guess John Smith kind of had that like hunkiness to him a little bit, even though he
I
was
forgot
like
about him.
a colonist weirdo. Again, if we're just going based on appearance, we're not talking about their morals or what they've done. So I'm gonna stop. John Smith, he's not really a prince, but you know, like a love
Right.
interest. We're gonna go based off
Okay.
of. The guy from, although I can't stand Princess and the Frog, the guy from Princess and the Frog is not a bad looker.
I think I've actually watched all of Princess and the Frog.
Me neither. I just know what he looks like.
Mainly because I tried to watch it and I fell asleep during it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I didn't really watch all the way through. I don't like it, but
I
know what
do
he looks
want to
like.
watch it. Like I have a desire to watch it, but I fell asleep during it. This is the same thing with Hercules. Love the music in Hercules.
Oh, Hercules.
I fall asleep during Hercules every single time. I don't know why.
What? I love Hercules. Yeah. But I will say Hercules is a strapping man, and you would think I would find him attractive, but I know that the voice of him is Marissa Cooper's dad in the OC, and therefore, like, I can't put them together. Like, Tate Donovan, I do not find attractive. He's Jimmy Cooper, a loser. So I can't find him attractive. This is the problem.
I love that.
Who else? Name off some others for me. I'll say yay or nay because I can't remember.
Well, this came to light because I'll tell you how this came up. I was on, my aunt watches a baby, so I was on the phone with her because I had Addie and I was like, oh, let's see what they're doing. They were watching Beauty and the Beast. Oh. And he was like becoming back to Prince Adam.
Yes.
Yeah. So
okay, yeah, he's good looking.
Which like no one no, I think he's I do not think.
You think his hair's too long? He looks too feminine?
No, I just don't think that like I don't. It's just probably because you get so into the beast that when he turns back to a human, you're just disappointed. I don't really know what it is, but anyway. So my power rankings were like OG. I was just like, no, everybody knows Prince Eric, number one, duh. Then Prince Charming, then Snow White, then I would say Adam is like last.
Snow White is like the most generic white man you can picture. He has no personality, no different look to him whatsoever.
Snow White is so scary as an adult.
It was made in the 50s. You understand? There was like, it doesn't have any of the charm of current cartoons at all. And Prince.
No, it doesn't. But I was just thinking. I was just thinking the originals. I wasn't putting the new ones. Flynn Rider's a great choice.
I love him.
But
I love that movie.
Anyway, so that's how it came up. So that's what I was like. I don't know. I just feel like the Beast, you fall so in love with him that, like, again, he talked.
I guess
we all had Stockholm syndrome from the Beast.
I guess you're not wrong. Also the fact that in the live action Cinderella, which was not that good, but Rob Stark was the prince in that one, and he's a good looking man. Richard Madden.
See, my thing with the live actions, I do like them. I just don't think you could compare them to the originals because they're not going to be the originals.
I just have to give Rob Stark a shout out.
I enjoyed the live action Little Mermaid. I thought they did a very good job.
I actually still haven't seen it.
I liked the original songs that were in it, and again, if they botched the Prince Eric casting, I would have lost my shit.
Was it good?
But they didn't. Oh, he was fantastic.
Okay.
I will watch it over and over and over again.
I still haven't seen it.
I think he was like perfectly casted, honestly. Like, but yeah. You also mentioned the OC, and I never watched the OC from start to finish, and I think I like kind of want to just to be the culture shock of it. But where do I find it?
On HBO Max.
Oh, okay, I have that.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe I will. I started watching Gilmore Girls again because you said your mom was watching it, and
She
now
finally finished it.
Yeah, but now I'm in the hole of Lorelai and Luke, and I hate Dean, and I am just like so angry at everyone, and I'm like, why did I do this to myself?
All right, but you know how that ends, so just stop that and go watch the OC, because especially season 1 of the OC is just like, it needs to just be eternally in a time capsule.
The
Like,
funny
it is
thing is,
the best.
I
Oh
I
my God.
realized that I like didn't watch it because I saw like people talking about it, and I was like, wait, I never actually watched the show. And I think it would be funny for me to like start watching it and then complain to you about it potentially on the podcast because like just see your reaction live.
Well, you never knew me.
Maybe
You
I'll do
didn't
that.
know me when I was in my OC. Like, the OC was the show that made me like
Yeah,
a
we were in
TV
high
freak.
school, right?
Yeah, my screen name on AOL was OC Lover, okay? The OC Lover. I was obsessed with Ryan Atwood. I was obsessed
Well,
with the
my mom
show.
was like obsessed with it.
It's so good. So good.
Speaking of
You have to
obsessed,
watch it.
the People's Choice Awards were on,
Did
and I
not
didn't
watch that.
watch much of them. I literally shut them off after this happened, and I was going to shut it off right before, but then Glenn Powell showed up on my screen to present, and that man,
He's a good man. He's a good looking man. I didn't laugh for the reason you thought I laughed just now. I'll let you finish your sentence.
so good looking. Like, I can't get over it. So I said to Alec, I was like, we didn't see the movie he was in. He's like, is he in the movie with this girl? I was like, yeah. He goes, great, we could go see it.
Oh, Sydney Sweeney, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it was
He's got
just
the tits.
funny. And I'm like, this guy is like, whew, chef's kiss to his parents.
I started laughing like that because you said Glenn Powell. And for a moment, my brain didn't compute who you were talking about. I thought you were talking about Colin Powell, like the deceased politician. And my brain, I was like, why are you so excited to see him? And then 2 seconds later, it clicked in who you were talking about. That's when I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So shout out to Colin Powell, R.I.P. But yeah, Glenn Powell's a looker. He's a good-looking man. Oh man, my brain.
Okay, let's go back to what do you have to say about gambling and blackjack before we end this?
Oh, well, I was just so this.
Why is that in the note?
I want to share in my celebration. So this
Oh,
past
you had
weekend,
something positive happen this week? Great.
yeah, because I forced myself to go out. This is why I'm glad I forced myself to not wallow at home all weekend, because I went to visit Melissa and Anthony in their new home. And they live 15 minutes from Philly. So we went to a casino.
Oh,
And
nice.
we played blackjack. And I'm not really a gambler, but I was like feeling it. I did really well. I did really well. And not that I really bet a lot, so I didn't like win big,
Right.
but like I left up. Like, I did bring home money, but it was
Okay,
like
good.
$80, something like that. Like, it wasn't anything
Listen,
crazy. But
better than nothing.
yeah, it like paid for the dinner that night, like whatever. And there was one point, I'm like, still, like I said, I don't really gamble. So like I play a lot of blackjack like at home as a joke, but like I would never like go to a casino usually.
Right.
If you know the basic rules of blackjack, I say Jack Black so many times when I talk about it. Blackjack, you can there's if you get 2 of the same card, you can either split them or you could also double down on other things, like whatever. But anyway, I had 2 aces, and the guy next to me, who was like at the table the same amount of time as us, so we kind of like got a camaraderie going.
No, they really do. Like the people like that sit there, like if you get a good table, they help you. They tell you.
Yeah, because it's kind of everybody against the dealer.
I kind of like.
Yeah.
I like it because you don't have to feel like it's not like poker where like everybody's against each other and like you want to screw each other. Like everybody's like friends.
Right. So he's like, oh, you should split that. And me being like kind of a newbie, I forgot that I could do that. So I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm like, yeah. And it's like, it was like they're $15 ante. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm feeling good. Like whatever. And I hit blackjack on both of the split.
What?
I hit double blackjack on my first and only split ever.
That's actually crazy.
Jess, you know me. Can you imagine the scene I made in this casino when that happens?
Yes, because you had a shit week, so it was probably like to the
I was, and of course, I was already a couple of free Coronas deep at this point from sitting at the table so
Melissa
long.
and Anthony probably ran away from you.
Oh, they loved it. They loved it. Sam was there too. Shout out to Sam. And I was like freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, never before in my life. The dealer was like, congratulations. I'm like, stop it. Like I was like screaming.
Did you give the guy who told you to split like $5 at least?
No, I high-fived him. I mean, he was sitting over there with chips up to like here. I'm like, he's like a high roller. I'm like, he doesn't need my money. As I'm sitting here taking my 3 chips, like, okay, maybe I'll go in this one. Like, he doesn't need my money.
Right.
Come on.
That's so funny. So
anyway, that's the double blackjack story.
Alec played blackjack a lot. Like not a lot, but if we go to the casino, he plays blackjack and he's like good at it.
Mm.
The funny story that for those that don't know is the night that I met Alec, we met in AC. The night that we met, he like left. Melissa had like a suite. He left Melissa's suite, went to play roulette, or was walking by the roulette table and just put $100 down. This guy wins $100. So then he kept his 100, pocketed the 100. This man won $400 in literally 2 minutes, and then just walked away. It worked out for me the next night when we were at the club, and I didn't have to pretend to like beer because I knew he won $400, so I got tequila.
Yeah, we played a little bit of roulette, but I'm
excited to go to Aruba for that reason because they have the casinos and like, I don't know, I got into blackjack like because he liked it, and then I would like watch him, and then on our honeymoon we went to the casino every night. We would play blackjack before we went to dinner, and then we would go. So I do like blackjack a lot. Craps is really fun too, apparently, and that's very like everybody's into it. I don't know how to play, but my brother's into it. Yeah, like it's with the dice, but it's like if everybody's doing good, like you're doing good kind of thing.
Oh.
So I don't know. That could be fun to like get into. I don't know how to play, but I would be intrigued to play that as well.
I'm lucky that like we don't all like any from where I live, like any casino is at least 40 minutes. So it's like I feel like that's a good thing because if there was one any closer to me, I would be more tempted. Not that I don't think I'd become like a degenerate gambler, but like I do enjoy.
No, but it's something to do.
The adrenaline rush.
You know? Right.
And if you're gonna spend $100, $200 on a night out anyway, just take out that amount of money and go there. And then once you run out, your night's over. Like, whatever.
Right. Well, that's what we would do before we went to dinner. We were like, okay, we're going in with this much money. And then if we won, we won. If we didn't, we didn't. And in Aruba, I was actually doing better than Alex. So I felt really special.
Yeah. And those ones that
but the roulette thing happened then too. When we went to the roulette thing happened too. We went to Vegas. And again, he just like put $100 down or something and he freaking won. And I'm like,
and for Alec to do that.
How do you do that?
For Alec to be for Alec to be a gambler, that surprises me because he's not usually one to just like throw his money out like that.
Exactly. But when it comes to gambling, he's like good at it and he knows.
But he sounds disciplined. Like he doesn't like go like, oh, keep going. Like he wins his money and he leaves.
No,
like that's very good discipline.
Yeah. He is. There was one time where he asked me for money and I felt very like I felt in control for once. I was like, oh, yes, he's asking. I was like, this is my money. I'm winning, not you. He was like, I gave you the money to start playing. Give me money.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was part of my weekend. Hitting double blackjack. I will never know a prouder moment of my life. I don't know. That really brought me up. Out of all the doom I was feeling that week, hitting that double blackjack was just like chef's kiss. Like it really
I'm really impressed, honestly.
Yeah.
I am impressed.
That would never happen again to me. And then right after I hit that is when the dealer started getting 21s a lot and we knew. I was like, okay, maybe we should leave.
Yeah, you have to know when to like get up. That's the problem. The problem is getting up. Like the sitting down is so easy, but the knowing when to leave when you are
rush.
Up. Right, it is. That's how they get people in. This is why people have a problem.
I signed up for a free like the rewards like card. I've been to this place once. Who knows when I'm going to go again? But I got a rewards card.
Wait, what casino was it?
It was the Xfinity Live one right next to all the sports things in Philly.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's new. I think it's only like a year or two old.
All right,
Yeah,
that's cool.
it's really fun. So
Nice.
it was Chinese New Year, and the whole casino was decorated like Chinese New Year,
Really?
and they came around with the big like dragon people, like
Shut up. No.
and they were giving out red envelopes. And the dealer was like, "Oh, I saw somebody last hour. They got an envelope. They got like $200." I'm like, "No way!" So of course I take an envelope. There was $2 in it. I'm like, "Great."
All
I
right,
mean,
keep
better than
it.
nothing. It paid the next time the girl came around for a tip for a drink, but like still.
Right. But you also probably could have went to the penny slots and tried to win money there too.
Oh, I don't trust the slots. I never have ever won money in the slots.
I did really good with the Wonka slot one time. And then I didn't know when to stop. Like I was doing very, very good. I should have cashed out and I didn't. And then I lost it all because I got a little too cocky. But that was my own fault because I was sitting there for a while and I was doing good and then I screwed it up. And then
The only time I
the
won the
only other
slots,
slot machine
yeah,
that I went on the hunt for when we were in Vegas was the Bachelor slot machine.
of course.
Well, my boy, Ben Higgins, was on the slot machine, so I had to go find him.
And did you win? No.
No, of course not.
The
I
only
said,
time
look,
I've ever
Alec, I
played a
didn't get
slot.
casted to be on his season, and I also can't win any money from him.
Oh. The only time I played slots was when I went to Vegas for the first time for Kelly's 21st birthday.
Mhm.
My grandpa gave me $100 and because he was a big gambler, he went to the MGM Trop a lot and stuff. And he was like, you go to this machine in MGM Grand, this specific machine, you take this $100 bill, you put it in, you play till you can't play anymore. And I was freshly 21. And so I'd never been to Vegas before, never really gambled before, besides like 1 or 2 times in Vegas, AC. And I can't even, I think I lost those $100 in a minute and 10 seconds. Like it was, and 21-year-old Toni-ann was like,
Right.
what just happened? And I've never touched a slot machine since.
That was my sister when Jamie turned 20. I think it was her. What birthday was it? It was her birthday during COVID.
Yeah.
Or 2021. Because for her 21st, we didn't do anything because she was at college. And then she came home a week later, and then she wasn't like, we just never did anything. So COVID, we're like, let's go to AC. She's like, I never went to AC before. So we go to AC. This girl, I was like, girl, we gotta stop. She was like, no, more. I'm like, no.
I could see Jamie going on a tear. She like on a mission.
First of all, she was wasted. And I'm like,
yeah,
this is not good. But Ben taught us how to play roulette. The one when we went down there, or not this, yeah, our senior year, we went down there. That was the day I almost died in a car accident on the ice. And then I came to AC and I was miserable that winter break. I shouldn't have been around people anyway. And Ben taught us how to play roulette.
yeah. Well, that's fun too. But I liked blackjack just because I feel like there's at least some sense of control. Like you have some say in your fate. Whereas roulette, it's just like you're going with what feels right, like a gut feeling.
Right.
And it doesn't always
Exactly.
pay
You're
off.
like choosing your lucky numbers and seeing.
Right. And you can hedge your bets, obviously, but like it's not like
Right.
it's not the same. So
No, not at all.
very fun. That was my blackjack story.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you had a fun weekend. I didn't really do anything, so I have nothing to add. But I feel like this was somewhat on track for once, but also not.
Yeah, we didn't tangent too much. It was pretty good.
Just a little bit.
But I feel like that's the funny
It flowed.
parts.
It wouldn't be being friends with us unless we were all over the place. So here we are.
Exactly.
Here we are. I finished that whole whiskey.
Yeah, the wine's gone.
I'm really proud of myself.
We got a lot of great feedback about our Galentine's episode last week.
I know. I was excited.
So shout out to the gals. Thanks for being such great guests. And maybe because of the success of that, we may think of maybe who our next guests will be. And it has to be for good reasons. We can't just start inviting people on just because people want to be on it, which we love you all. Don't get us wrong. But
no,
we need like real reasons.
We have to have like a concrete structured plan of what we're going to talk about when you're here. So if you want to be on, come with a sales pitch, an elevator speech, and we will maybe put you on.
Basically pretend we're the sharks on Shark Tank and you have to tell us why your topic would be really interesting to our listeners.
I love that.
We'll do like a wanted
I
ad
love
on our
it.
Instagram.
Yeah. Wanted. Who wants to be on?
But anyway, it's
Anywho,
been nice to get back into it.
I know. I felt like I really didn't realize how much I enjoy it until you take a week off and then you're like, oh, we didn't record anything this week.
I know. We tried last week, but we got a little pressed for
Well, it was
time.
just very busy because you had plans, I had plans, then it was Thursday, and no offense, people, we can't record and edit and post by Friday, so it was not happening.
We have lives.
Yeah.
So
We have jobs.
okay. I meant to repost on Friday, like reminder there's no episode today. Listen to Galentine's again. And I didn't because
I
we're
know, I
still
thought about
struggling
that
to be good with
before.
our social media. We'll get there
Yeah.
eventually.
Listen, we have our
But
lives.
we have almost like double the YouTube views as we do for a regular episode last week.
We
So
did. So
I'm
thanks if you
hoping.
listened, and we
Yeah.
hope you're here to stay.
Yes, exactly. Thanks to all the noobs and keep listening. And thanks for being our friend.
Bye.
Hi, friends. Wow, you listened to the whole thing. Thanks for listening. Please be sure to subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcast platform and share it with your friends. Ratings, reviews, and comments help as well. See you next week. Thanks for being our friend.